Hello, everybody, and welcome to this YouTube Live. I am excited today to share with you because I've had so many downloads and transmissions coming through about this upcoming new moon solar eclipse in Libra. I'm excited to share with you the energies of this, and this is a really powerful new moon. It's a really powerful solar eclipse, and it's so important that we know and understand the energetics of this as we're going into it. Now, my name is Jocelyn Starfeather, and I'm the founder of Sacred Planet. And you can find the link to my website below with lots of free gifts and exciting, fun things to check out if you would like to learn more about my work. And I also invite you, after you watch this video, if you haven't seen already my most recent previous YouTube live, check it out. It's called Astrology of the Eclipse Portal, a mythological turning point on your destiny path. This gives more information about how the eclipse cycles run and how they impact us, as well as information about the new eclipse cycle that we're moving into over the next 1.5 years. So it's a really good complement to what I'm going to speak about today. All right. So as we begin, I would love to hear from all of you in the comments. How are you feeling? We are really right in the middle of this eclipse portal as I'm recording this live video today. The eclipse portal stretches from September 17th to October 2nd, 2024. And I can't emphasize enough how important it is during eclipse times to pay attention to the themes and events which are being shown to us. Eclipses are turning points, and we're going to be shown themes. We're going to be shown maybe events, maybe challenging scenarios that come up, maybe really blissful and brilliant scenarios that come up. But we're going to be shown certain things, each of us individually, during the eclipse time. And this is the universe giving us clues, giving us hints about what the turning points are in your life. And I go into much more detail about this in that other video I mentioned. So definitely check that out if you haven't seen it. But there will be certain themes that you're being asked to work with around this eclipse time. Maybe certain lessons that you're learning, maybe certain things you're releasing, maybe certain things you're welcoming into your life at this time. And you want to be really tuned into it. You want to journal on it, take notes, write them down, because often what happens is that the eclipse portal happens. We have this 2-week window. Again, in this case, it's from September 17th to October 2nd. And a lot will happen during this time. Big changes in our lives, changes in the world. And when we look back on this time, maybe 6 months from now, maybe a year or even a year and a half from now, we'll look back at this window and we'll realize, oh my gosh, this was the time when everything started to change around that part of my life. And now I can see 6 months or 12 months or 18 months later how all those changes have rolled out, and how much it has shifted and changed me. And so we want to be taking notes. We want to be really tracking what's happening now so that we can have clarity and so that we can receive the highest gifts of these eclipse transits. So tell me in the comments, what are the themes? What are the patterns that are being shown to you? Especially what's been coming up for you between September 17th till now. And check out my previous video. It'll be linked in the description field below. But yeah, I would really love to hear what's moving for you. It's so fascinating how the themes come up, how we are shown the clues and the signs. So tune into that. Let me know in the comments what it is for you. Also, I would truly appreciate it if you would like this video and subscribe to my channel. It really helps me to get these astrology reports out to more and more people around the world, and hopefully to help and guide so many during these times of rapid change. Now, you have probably noticed that the energies are seriously ramping up right now in intensity as we approach this October 2nd solar eclipse. And the middle of September and also the beginning of September were fairly calm. I mean, there's a lot going on in the world, right? There was a lot that was already in motion, already happening before September, but September, the beginning and middle of the month, it relative to our times was fairly calm. but we can feel everything intensifying now. And that's because we're building toward this very strong, very catalyzing new moon solar eclipse in Libra, which will be exact at 2:48 p.m. New York time on October 2nd. Now, I want to take a moment here to send prayers and love and light. And I encourage you to pause and do the same in whatever way is right for you, to all the people who've been affected by Hurricane or Tropical Storm Helene in the US Southeast. There are so many people right now that are without power, that are even without cell phone service. I understand cell phone towers are down. There's immense flooding and in many of these areas, and this is in Florida, Georgia, South Carolina, North Carolina. So let's send lots of prayers and love that everybody stays safe, that everybody is okay and weathers through the storm. I also am sending prayers and love and light to all those in the world who are so many, sadly at this time, who are affected by war or who are being affected by political unrest. May everyone stay safe. May everyone be held and protected. And we send this love and light out to all of those who need it most around the world at this time. And this is all part of the intensification that's happening as we're moving through the eclipse portal and into the October 2nd solar eclipse. And so we do want to just, stay calm. We do want to be calming our nervous systems during this time because there's going to be a lot moving through with this eclipse. Now, the major theme that I see with this eclipse that's going to be coming up for all of us on both the personal level and the collective level is, what is the state of balance and harmony in our world and in our lives? So, interestingly, this is a theme that the universe has been showing to us in no uncertain terms ever since July 2023. When the South Node moved into Libra and the North Node moved into Aries. So the nodes of the moon and the eclipses, which follow the nodes, work in these 1.5-year cycles. There are also bigger 19-year cycles, but right now I'm going to speak about the 1.5-year cycles. So from July 2023 until the end of 2024 is one of these 1.5-year cycles. And that has been the time that the North Node has been in Aries and the South Node has been in Libra. And so we have been called during this time with the North Node in Aries and South Node in Libra to release, where the South Node is, to release the negative patterns represented by Libra, and to embrace with the North Node in Aries, the positive patterns, the qualities, and the archetypes represented by Aries. So what does this mean for us? Now, the negative patterns represented by Libra that we want to be really getting clear on in our lives over this 1.5-year time frame, that we want to be releasing and letting go. The negative patterns of Libra and the shadow side of Libra, it includes where we give up what we really need for the needs of others or for what we think other people will want and need. This is because Libra, on the bright and shiny side of Libra, Libra is the one who can understand how everybody else in the room feels. Libra is very social, very compassionate, very drawn to beauty, wanting to make the world a beautiful place, and very tuned into how other people are feeling. And so this is wonderful. Libras make amazing diplomats, mediators, friends, peacemakers in the world. I have a lot of Libra in my chart. And I know many of you in the Sacred Planet community have a lot of Libra in your chart because really many light workers and peacemakers in the world have this Libra archetype. However, the difficult side of Libra and what we've been working with quite significantly over the last almost a year and a half is that because we feel so strongly what others are feeling, because we're so empathic and compassionate, we often give up what we really need. We let down our boundaries. We let people walk on us. We don't ask for what we really need in situations or in relationships. And so we end up exhausted. We end up burnt out. We end up giving and giving and giving and giving all of our energy away, giving all of our life force away because of trying to please others or trying to uphold balance and harmony. Ultimately, Libra is about balance and harmony. And so those of us with a lot of Libra, we want to create that balance and harmony in the world, but we have to be really careful not to do it at our own expense, right? We have to be careful not to do it in a way that is exhausting our own selves. And so with this South Node in Libra, we are called to release, let go, change those old patterns where we're giving away too much of our own energy, where we're too worried about what we think other people need. And instead, we're called to move toward the positive qualities of Aries, where the North Node is located. And the positive qualities of Aries are the same as the positive qualities of Mars, the planet Mars, which rules Aries. And these are confidence, courage, speaking up boldly with our truth, being a warrior for truth, a spiritual warrior, really taking a stand for what we believe in, and not being shy, being really, really strong in setting our boundaries and asking for what we need and communicating with others, what is important to us. Aries finds it very easy to get on the soapbox and stand and talk about, what they believe in, what they know to be true. And these are really beautiful qualities. Aries is also a very pioneering energy. Aries is the way shower, the pathfinder. Aries is the one that will look and see that, there's not a good path to get from here to there, and they will take the initiative to cut that path through the forest or through the wilderness or whatever it might be. And then everybody wants to follow that path because Aries is really good at finding the best path and the best new way through. Aries is a fire sign. So there's a lot of courage and confidence and boldness associated here. So we really want to be, during this time in our own lives, focusing on how can we move out of those shadow Libra qualities, giving up our energy, maybe being weak, being indecisive, trying to do what other people want, instead embracing the Aries, right? Standing up for what's true for us, taking a strong stance for what we need, having courage, having boldness, having confidence in how we communicate and how we express ourselves. Now, what is really fascinating is that as we're nearing the end of this 1.5-year cycle, we can look back and see how we've been learning those lessons. And we can look back and ask ourselves, have we been making those changes in our lives to come more into alignment with confidence and courage and asking for what we really want and need and having strong boundaries? And this solar eclipse is really, really highlighting all of those themes that I just talked about. So this eclipse is at 10 degrees of Libra, and let's look at the chart, which I have up on the screen here. You can see that the sun and the moon are together here at 10 degrees and 3 minutes of Libra. They are very close to the South Node in Libra. This is a South Node solar eclipse. And these sun and moon right here are conjunct Black Moon Lilith at 10 degrees of Libra and Mercury at 11 degrees of Libra. Very tight configuration here between the sun and moon and Lilith and Mercury. And all of these are square to Mars at 15 degrees of Cancer. Okay, so we have this South Node in Libra solar eclipse, highlighting all of those South Node themes of Libra I was talking about. And then we have Mars right here, square to all of it, okay, saying we're not going to stand for these weaknesses anymore. We're not going to stand for giving up our energy anymore. We are claiming the Mars qualities, the Aries qualities. Not only that, but Mars is also square to Chiron at 21 degrees of Aries. So here's bringing in the Aries energy again, and here's the North Node in Aries opposite the new moon solar eclipse and opposite the South Node. So Aries is very strong in this chart. Chiron is highlighted in this chart. Chiron is our deepest wound that we're meant to heal so we can rise into our leadership and our healing and teaching abilities. And Mars is very, very strongly aspected in this chart. Okay, so what does this all mean for us? This is so important. You're going to really feel this as I lay it all out for you and as I share this. So Mars is, as we've said, in Cancer, square to the new moon, square to Chiron, and about to enter his retrograde shadow. So Mars in this chart is at 15 degrees of Cancer. Mars will enter the retrograde shadow on October 5th when he reaches 17 degrees of Cancer. And that's because Mars is going to be retrograde in the coming months. Mars will be retrograde from December 6th to February 23rd. He will be between 6 degrees of Leo to 17 degrees of Cancer. So as soon as Mars hits 17 degrees of Cancer here on October 5th, just a few days after the eclipse, he's going into his retrograde shadow. So this solar eclipse with Mars so strongly aspected in the chart is giving us a preview of the Mars retrograde energies now. And Mars is demanding us to embody the Aries North Node qualities of being a pioneer, forging a new path, speaking out with confidence, moving things forward in a new way, having courage and boldness in our lives. So since the South Node has been in Libra for well over a year now, we are very clear on where in our own lives we are not in balance or not feeling aligned with harmony. You're probably feeling this really strongly. The themes have probably been brought up for you. I invite you to pause for just a moment and write in the comments, what is it in your life that's out of balance? What is it in your life that you're really clear is out of harmony and you know you need to fix, or maybe you've already fixed it during this past year? And where are you giving away your energy? Where are you giving too much to people who are not giving back to you? Right? The shadow side of Libra. Mars during this new moon demands that we speak up, step out, get clear, take action, and no longer submit to what others need or making others feel okay, because those ways of acting are causing us to have no boundaries, to give up our own energy, and to feel exhausted much of the time. And Mars is telling us that this is not okay. We have got to claim what we really need. And when we take this up to the collective level, we can see that this is a very big, very karmic unfolding of events around harmony and balance, and where we are not in harmony and balance in our world. So if you can think about global events within the last year and 3 months, especially since the nodes moved into Aries and Libra in July 2023, we have been shown how very, very extremely out of balance things are in our world. Mars sees this. Mars is looking at this very strongly right now. He is the warrior for truth. Mars wields his sword and he cuts through the lies and illusions. It's very interesting. I work really closely with the planets, and as I delve into the deeper layers of what does Mars really represent, I often see an image of Archangel Michael with the sword, and so it's interesting because I believe, and this is a whole other alchemical astrology philosophy that I won't go too deeply into, but I'll just say briefly that I believe that Mars has been layered over for many, many millennia. Our perception of what the planet Mars represents has been layered over with patriarchal views based in war, based in ego and greed. And I believe that the original energies of Mars, as Mars, the planet, was perceived by the ancient people, was much more aligned with the sacred masculine energies, the true sacred masculine. And so I think this is why Archangel Michael comes up, because Archangel Michael, like Mars, carries the sword. Archangel Michael carries the light, and he cuts through the lies, he cuts through the illusions to help us to find truth. And Mars does the same. Okay, so you can imagine Mars working with us in this way, right? The warrior for truth, carrying his sword, cutting through the lies and illusions, the spiritual warrior, the sacred masculine, coming in to guide us so strongly in this solar eclipse time. And what's going to happen, and what I think we're going to feel at this new moon solar eclipse, and that we're already feeling, is that the energy of Mars is going to rise up within us. We are not going to put up with the ways that we're out of balance and harmony any longer in our own lives or in the collective. Mars is going to call upon us to wield our life force energy in a new and pioneering way, in a revolutionary way, so that we must speak up, so that we cannot stay silent any longer. And I think we're going to feel this so strongly rising up within us. So if we look at the world, what is happening related to war, climate, environment, medical scenarios, profit, greed, and ego in our world. It is not okay. And people, I think, are going to feel really moved during this solar eclipse time and the 6 months following it, because eclipses tend to have a 6-month influence where their energy is the strongest, starting at the moment of the eclipse and then the 6 months following. So I think we're going to see some really big shifts in the world where people are no longer going to allow the lies and illusions. So we might think about 5G and how harmful we're discovering that 5G actually is to us and to all forms of life. We might think about the widespread use of pesticides that are very poisonous for all of life on Earth, harmful vaccines, medical experimentation on animals, oil pipelines. I mean, there's so many ways, the extinction of species because of human activities. There are so many ways that humans are acting in the world that are absolutely insane, right? And I think this is going to be increasingly recognized, not just by the, smaller group of light workers that, are already aware of it, but very much more widely recognized by the mainstream over the coming 6 months. I think it's really going to be coming out and becoming so clear to so many more people that we cannot go on like this. And huge cells of people are already awakening. The awakening, the raising of our consciousness as a human collective is increasing, it's accelerating. Huge numbers of people all around the world are coming to a realization that we cannot keep going in this direction as a global collective. And Mars is right there in the forefront with his sword, and really helping us to cut through the lies and see the truth. We want to remember that all of these planets are working in our favor. All of the planets are representing the archetypal forces that are true and clear within us and within our world. And they are always, always trying to bring us back into what is true and all of our true power, our true abilities, and to help us take down the lies, right? So the breakdown of the systems and structures is really accelerating in our world, and people's consciousness is raising to align with these breakdowns so that together we can reach the breakthroughs. There's a lot more that I could say here. For example, I believe that AI and all of this hyper technology focus that we're seeing is pretty soon going to really force people to crave a return to the organic, right? I've talked about our organic sovereignty, really claiming that our biology, our bodies, the technology of life itself is the most amazing technology we could possibly have, right? The earth, all of the animals, all of the plants, the biospheres, the ecosystems, and our human bodies as a part of that are the most incredible technology. And I think more and more people are going to be waking up to the fact that we don't want all this false technology, right? We don't want computer chips in our brains. We don't want AI to be showing us fake images of everything. And people are really going to start taking a stand for this. There's also this energy of wanting to not be owned by the corporations, right? And I think we're going to see a major downfall in the coming years of really big corporations that have built up their success based on ego and greed and power and money. I think we're going to see more and more people, and this is kind of a natural part of the awakening process, right? So this is naturally going to be accelerated, but more and more people are going to be wanting to leave their jobs at these big corporations and do work that's aligned with their gifts and their talents and receive abundance in a much more natural way that is true to them. And just a complete and total shift in our priorities in the world. I really see this accelerating. So this is very much Mars in Cancer. And this Mars retrograde, like I said, the solar eclipse that's happening now is showing us the energies, a preview of what Mars in Cancer is going to be all about, and Mars retrograde in Leo and Cancer. Mars spending such a long time in Cancer over the coming months with a little foray into Leo as well is going to be about taking a stand, claiming our courage and our confidence about what really nurtures us, what is really healthy for us, what do we want for our kids and our grandkids and the next 7 generations, right? These are all themes of Cancer. and getting clear on what is healthy for the earth, what is healthy for the waters, for the oceans. What do our emotions tell us is true, right? That's a huge question that the zodiac sign of Cancer would want to ask us, right? What do our emotions tell us is true? How do we get back to what is nurturing and healing and holistic? Let's take a stand for it. Let's take a sword to the lies and stand up for what is true. So I really invite you at this time to demand what you know is right in your life and in the world. Demand what you know we really need to be healthy, nurtured, and nourished, right? From the food systems, from the medical systems, from the educational systems. We've got to really speak up, to use that Mars and Aries energy to say, we will not put up with the lies and the harm anymore. We are done. We're demanding a new way, right? And it becomes really important. And I think we're going to be feeling this so strongly during this solar eclipse and the 6 months that follow. It's going to be so important for each of us to speak up and speak out with our truth. And we're really seeing extremes, I mean, on all levels, extreme weather events, extreme health events, extreme violence, extreme political scenarios, extreme separation and polarity in our world, right? And as we are witnessing these events, we can see that this state of affairs that we're living in the world is not true. This is not actually how the earth or nature operate in their natural state of being. This is not how our world was originally created to function. These are the false beliefs, false patterns, false models of reality that have been imposed upon us by confused, lost, and misguided human systems and structures. And this is what the Great Awakening is really all about. Seeing through those lies, seeing that this is not actually how life is supposed to be, and waking up to that and then taking action to change it, right? That's what we're doing already as light workers. And that's what the vast, huge numbers of people awakening all around the world are going to be rising up and demanding. And I think we're really going to see these massive changes coming in around what people will accept. And then companies and governments and the systems are going to have to change. When that many people are demanding it, the changes will have to occur. So we are waking up to what's really true. So I invite you to think about in your life, how do you choose to stand up for truth, for peace, for what is right and just and moral and compassionate and good, right? In your own life and in the world. Really take a stand for it at this time. Write down your intentions. New moons, and this solar eclipse is a new moon. The sun and moon are conjunct here. New moons are an amazing time for a new beginning, a fresh start, right? And so let this be a fresh start for us around balance and harmony in our lives and in our world. Write down your intentions, write down how you want to take action with the Mars energy, and write down what you will not stand for anymore and that you are committed to helping to change in the world. Now, I want to say there's not only Mars here to assist us with all of this, Lilith is here as well. Okay, so we have Black Moon Lilith here at 10 degrees of Libra. How fascinating, because Lilith, the goddess Lilith in the mythology, is the revolutionary feminine who will not stand for the status quo. All right, so everything I've just said is not only being demanded in our world by Mars, but is also exactly what Lilith represents. And Lilith is exactly conjunct the sun and moon at 10 degrees of Libra. How fascinating, all of the support that we're getting around these themes. This is why these transmissions were coming through so strongly this morning as I realized all of this, okay? That's why I had to share it with you right away. So Lilith is here. Lilith will not put up with any form of abuse or harm. She will not put up with all of the destruction of the patriarchy. She will not put up with the feminine, the indigenous, and what is really true in our world being harmed or abused in any way. Okay, so we're going to feel this rising up in us from Mars. We're going to feel this rising up in us from Lilith. I invite you to check out more of the mythology around Lilith. She's such a powerful figure. In fact, I will bring up an image of Lilith on the screen here because this image says it all. Now, this is a relief carved into stone from ancient Sumeria. Sharing my other screen here. And this is Lilith. This is from 1800 BC. Just look at how powerful this beautiful being is. So she is in her full wildness. She is in all of her beauty, all of her glory. Okay. She has wings. And she is not just seated on a lion throne, as many of the great goddesses have been shown throughout history in Egypt, in Sumeria, in Anatolia, in many different places. We see the great goddess or the sacred feminine sitting on a lion throne. But no, she is not only sitting on a lion throne, she is standing on top of the lions. All right, that says a lot, right? That really says a lot. She is here with the lions, but she's standing on top of them. She also has these owls by her side representing the wisdom of Sophia and the deep knowing of the darkness, right? The darkness of the sacred feminine, the darkness of the womb that creates all things. She's holding what in Egypt is called the Shen ring. In Sumeria, it may have a different name, but in all different cultures, this represents the infinite nature of the soul. And she has not only claws and talons, right, of a raptor, a bird of prey, she also has dew claws coming out of the sides of her legs, right? So how powerful is this being? And she is here with us. She is exactly conjunct this new moon. So I invite you to really sense into the power of Lilith, sense into how she is rising up in your life, rising up in your thoughts, helping you to change your belief systems, helping you to say no to the mainstream world, helping you to say no to the status quo. The mythology around Lilith is that she was the first wife of Adam before Eve. And she did not want to be on the bottom when they made love. She wanted to be on top. And he did not accept that because he was representing the patriarchy. He was representing that already devolving form of the masculine. And so she left. She was not accepting that. She left and she ran off to be with Inanna. And actually, the goddess Inanna and Lilith had tremendous power and influence of the sacred feminine in the ancient world. And then Eve became the more tame wife of Adam that we know from the Bible, right? So this figure of Lilith has been very demonized. She is often associated with serpents, with the darkness, with the shadow. And she does associate with the serpents and the darkness and the shadow, but that is her power, right? It is not a negative thing. It is the power of the deep, deep feminine. And she is shown here with her animal cohorts, right? Her animal allies who are always around her. And it represents all of her wildness and all of her power. So really allow yourself to feel the power, the rebelliousness, and the clarity of Lilith rising up within you at this time during this new moon. Let her guide you. You can have meditations with Lilith, shamanic journeys with Lilith. See where she will guide you. See where she will help you to get really, really clear in your life on what you want to change and where you will not stand for the status quo. Okay, so coming back to our beautiful astrology chart here, just a few more notes that I wanted to share with you. Mercury is also here, and this is really important to note too. Mercury is at 11 degrees of Libra. So Mercury is direct now and is moving quite quickly. So he's actually pretty hard to pin down, but it just so happens that he is perfectly aligned here with Lilith and the new moon in Libra at the exact moment of the eclipse. This is no mistake. So Remember that eclipses are turning points in our destiny. So this Mercury being right here with Lilith, with the new moon, square to Mars, is very much about a turning point in how we are using our voice and our communications, because Mercury is our communications, he's our voice, he's our self-expression, he's also our mind, our thoughts, our belief patterns, right? So this is a turning point about how we're using our voice, a turning point about how we're using our minds and which belief and thought systems we allow to influence us. And I really want to say that anger may be coming up for you during this solar eclipse. You may feel a need to yell, to demand something, to demand a change, to speak up very strongly about what you believe in. And so what we want to do, because the square from Mars to the new moon can make this confrontational, can make this aggressive. And we don't want to get into that, right? We don't want to get into any destructive use of our voice. We want this to be positive. We want to use this for good. All of this energy coming through now. We want to use it for the best and highest outcomes. So allow yourself to express your anger, maybe in private, in the ways you really need to. You don't want to just go and yell at somebody on this day. It's not necessarily the best use of your energy, but pay attention to your emotions. Pay attention to that anger, that rage, and look deeper into what is it telling you, right? Mars in Cancer is very much about bringing up really deep emotions to help us cut through the lies and get to the truth. And our emotions are the voice of our deep inner wisdom. The emotions are telling us what our intuition already knows, what our body already knows, that our mind may not be consciously aware of yet. So pay attention to your emotions. Pay attention to what you want to communicate. Pay attention to what you want to say. Write it down in your journal, and then find a good, constructive way, a positive way that will create beneficial outcomes that you can communicate that very effectively in the days to come after the solar eclipse. And you're going to get really clear during this time, I have no doubt, about what you stand for, what you're ready to take out your sword for and cut through the lies and cut through to the truth, what you are ready to defend, what you have the strongest convictions about in your life and in the world. One final note I'll make is about Chiron. Okay, so Chiron is important here too. Chiron is in Aries here at 21 degrees of Aries. Chiron is square to Mars. It's not an exact square, but it's very close. Okay, 21 degrees and 15 degrees. So it's significant enough to really, bring into the picture here of how we will be impacted by this new moon solar eclipse. So with Chiron in Aries square to Mars, this brings up the Aries wounding, because Chiron is our deepest wound. And the Chiron in Aries wound is about not being able to speak up, about being silenced, about not feeling confident, or being told that we were wrong, or we're not smart enough, or we're not good enough. That kind of cuts our confidence off at the knees. And Mars, ruler of Aries, in his square position to the new moon and square to Chiron, is going to say no more of being silenced. I will not be silenced. I will not be made to feel wrong. I will no longer accept it when other people or the systems and structures of the world tell me that I'm not worthy or not good enough or not smart enough, because Mars says, I can clearly see now what is true and what is not true. And I will speak up. I will stand for the truth. I will claim the power and confidence that is my birthright. So we're going to be called at this time to heal that Chiron and Aries wound, to no longer believe the lies that we're not good enough, we're not worthy, we're not smart enough, whatever it might have been that silenced us, right? To claim our birthright of power and confidence and to claim our voice. So this brings us back to thinking about the larger 1.5-year theme of the North Node in Aries and the South Node in Libra, which is all of the same themes as this solar eclipse, right? Very powerful how we're going to be really brought to work with those themes of the North Node in Aries, South Node in Libra in a very pointed and direct way at this time. So in your own life, really allow this new moon solar eclipse to be a turning point toward confidence, courage, boldness, action, claiming your power, claiming your visionary nature and your pioneer nature, and choosing to step into leadership, choosing new positive patterns of thought, and being very strong in your communications. So that is this beautiful new moon solar eclipse in Libra, very powerful. It can feel difficult with all of that intensity. So really be good to yourself, be kind to yourself, get lots of self-care, get as much sleep as you can, although it may be hard to sleep with all of this bubbling up. I've had trouble sleeping the last 2 nights, actually. So much, moving through here for all of us. Take good care of yourself during this time and trust, above all else, trust and surrender into what is happening here. It is all for our highest good. It is all showing us the truth. And sometimes the truth is hard to see, right? Sometimes when we've been thinking that the lie was the truth, it's really, really hard to accept that truth. And that's going to be happening for so many people on a very global collective level at this time, realizing, oh my gosh, that's been a lie all along. Wow. And then having to accept that, having to integrate that into our being and be able gradually over time to release that old lie and turn toward the truth and embrace the truth with courage and conviction. That is our task at this time with this powerful new moon solar eclipse in Libra. Before I close, I just want to let you know about something really special that we are working on and have just made a big announcement about, and that is the Global School for Star Children. We just had a beautiful live gathering on September 25th, and we announced our newest classes for kids. Now, in the Global School for Star Children, we are offering classes taught by teachers all around the world on subjects that are not taught in the mainstream schools. So this is very much in alignment with our new moon solar eclipse here. And so if you have kids or grandkids or nieces or nephews who would love to learn about topics that are really supporting the empowerment of our children, that are helping them to connect with their gifts, to remember who they really are, and to strengthen their ability as a visionary leader, because these children are our leaders of tomorrow. We need to support them in every way that we can. I invite you to come here and check this out. The URL is quantumevolutionschool.com/star-children, as you can see up here. I will put that link in the description field below as soon as I'm done with this recording. And you can come here and register to receive updates about the Global School for Star Children. You can also come here and check out our newest courses. So each of these are a link to the 5 newest courses that we just announced that are for different ages of kids. And these are just such wonderful topics created by wonderful, wonderful, amazing teachers who are just truly coming from their heart. And it's so powerful to hear them share about these classes and why they created them. And so we do have that in a video that we recorded on September 25th. I will link that video as well as the link to this page in the description field below. So check that out and let's build this radical new world together with this powerful solar eclipse energy, and letting the Global School for Star Children be one of the ways that you can connect in and know that we are not standing for the status quo and we are building that radical new world together. Okay. So much love, everybody. I am signing off now. I am sending you lots of love and blessings and light. And may this be a powerful and really meaningful new moon solar eclipse for you in your life and for all of us in the world. So much love. Bye.